Hello everyone and welcome to May B&B 724 YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. As Taylor experiences heartbreak, Ridge and Brooke get back together. The reunion between Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan has been confirmed by Brad Bell, the showrunner of Bold the Beautiful. In a recent interview, he stated as much. In fact, he gave away the conclusion of Ridge and Taylor Hayes, along with the reasons behind it, the time it will occur, and the reason Ridge would end up with Brooke. We're going to discuss everything Brad Bell revealed, presumably in the hopes that American fans wouldn't find out. However, we have the inside scoop. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, Brad Bell's leaked Italian interview. Some others have written on this, but their coverage was limited because only a portion of the interview was published online. I went and obtained the Italian magazine where he conducted the interview and translated it. I have the inside scoop for you now. Thus, head writer Brad Bell conducted a few interviews that were printed in an Italian magazine while they were in Italy filming remote shots. Torsten Kay and Catherine Kelly Lang discuss their characters Ridge and Brooke in the same article. Cast responses to Bold and the Beautiful storylines, Catherine Kelly Lang and Torsten Kay. She revealed some details. He didn't. He was more reserved, although Catherine and Torsten stuff was intriguing. Provided no spoilers. She gave a small amount. Thus, if it cheers you up, Torsten Kay is not pleased with the way Ridge handles Brooke and Taylor. He claimed that he dislikes Ridge's treatment of women and that he cannot tolerate him. Even if he doesn't like him, he must read the words on the script. The fact that Scott Clifton has also expressed his disapproval of the way his character, Liam Spencer, handles women makes it somewhat amusing. Waffling characters are disliked by both Waffle Boys. Regarding Catherine Kelly Lang, she claims that she is significantly different from Brooke, who has been married to Ridge 8 times out of her 20 marriages. That's based on her count. It's quite close, but I didn't go back and redo her count. The actress, who isn't dating right now, claims to be content and self-sufficient. She also discussed how she didn't like some of Brooke's storylines and thought they were ridiculous. Lang specifically brought up the narrative involving Brooke and Deacon Sharp, in which she became engaged with and became pregnant by her son-in-law. Naturally, when Brooke became pregnant with Hope by Deacon, Bridget Forrester was already married to him. The actress added that she didn't enjoy Brooke having an affair with Hope's boyfriend, Oliver. According to her, Brooke's actions were not appreciated by fans at either time. Brad Bell's audacious step, Italian magazine spoilers. It's also kind of fascinating that she doesn't like things that fans dislike. When Brad Bell's time came to speak to the Italian magazine, he may have been feeling secure because he was doing an interview for a non-English language magazine, but I had it translated. He then revealed a few major spoilers. This is what he disclosed, which, in my opinion, somewhat undermines the whole story of Nick Marone and Brooke in Italy. According to Brad Bell, scenes with Eric Forrester, Steffi Forrester, Nick, Brooke, and Ridge in different combinations are filmed in Italy. He added that Ridge and Brooke have made the decision to remain together indefinitely. He claimed that they captured a historic event on the soap opera in Naples, Italy, and described it as unique. Bell stated that Ridge will ask Brooke to live with him forever after he finally realizes he cannot live without her while they are in Naples. It appears like they will dust off that fate while they are abroad, and Taylor won't be there to defend herself or try to save everything. Additionally, Bell revealed that this marks a significant turning point in Ridge's life. Bold and the Beautiful, contradictory storylines and unexpected turns. And here's the truly strange part. Jack Wagner stated in a few interviews with US soap opera websites that Nick's comeback could be the first of many, and he suggested that Brooke and Nick might actually have a future together. The problem is that Bold and the Beautiful provides talking points for Jack Wagner. Plot lines are not all that actors can say. What they can say is dictated to them. In other words, Brad Bell and the press office are instructing Jack Wagner to say something to the American media, and then Brad Bell is in Italy giving spoilers to a magazine in Italian. I'll admit that this is really normal. It fits the B&B brand. For example, when Kimberlyn was attempting to convince us that Sheila Carter had passed away, fans quickly realized that Sugar, not Sheila, had actually died. Fans figured out what they thought was a significant twist weeks before the show finally announced it, but they did so shortly after. Exits verified by actor interviews, Bold and the Beautiful. Tanner was then sent out to do exit interviews while they were feigning Finn Finnegan's death. You know, he was discussing his future as an actor in light of Finn's passing. I'm not criticizing the actors in any way. When they are interviewed, they follow instructions. They are required to go conduct interviews and say these things because they are employed by the show, but they may not even be aware of the direction the storylines are taking. All I know is that Brad Bell utterly contradicted what Jack Wagner was saying, which I'm sure he was coached to say. This entirely ruined the plot and, in a way, rendered watching Nick and Brooke's brief little romance completely pointless for me. Ridge and Brooke, Bold and the Beautiful's endgame? Correct. Catherine Kelly Lang also gave out a small spoiler, saying, I can't talk about it yet, but Brooke and Ridge will exchange something very important. It's probably not body fluids. In Italy, they might elope. Perhaps they exchange rings and vows. It's very obvious that Taylor breaks her heart once more while Brooke finds love. Regardless of what Jack Wagner said in those interviews, I believe they had the opportunity to bring him back for a July sweeps ratings boost with no intention of Brooke ending up with Nick. This is because, as we've seen previously, he was given talking points by the soap opera and he is aware of the current plot and the scripts that he has been given, but he is only permitted to say what he is allowed to say. According to the article's conclusion, which featured interviews with Brad Bell, Torsten Kay, and Catherine Kelly Lang, Bold and the Beautiful is getting ready to give us a big surprise. The permanent cessation of the back and forth between Ridge and Brooke. I'm not sure why Brad Bell revealed all of this in an interview, even one conducted in a foreign language from Europe. Plots ruined in Bold and the Beautiful. To reveal the conclusion of a major plot point and somewhat spoil Nick's big comeback, which many fans were looking forward to, seems crazy. Why not simply remain silent and avoid giving any spoilers, since it will air in Italy in about 6 weeks or a month? Thus, he was also spoiling things for Italian supporters well in advance. In conclusion, Brad Bell's statement that Brooke and Ridge endgame is great news for fans of the team. On this location shot in Italy, they are getting back together. It's bad news if you're not a fan of Nick and Brooke, and you will be let down if you were thinking that Ridge and Taylor would finally get married, as their daughter Steffi desires. Now that Brad Bell said it, it's public knowledge. I translated it, you know. I read it. That is a significant leak. To be fair, though, the writing was already on the wall. Ridge has been having that 1,000-yard stare and thinking about Brooke. While he's telling Taylor that he loves her, Ridge is obviously thinking about Brooke. We can only hope that Taylor's broken heart syndrome won't resurface. Perhaps she will have the opportunity to fall in love with someone else. Bill Spencer, perhaps. She only made one attempt to kill him, you know. He won't likely hold that bullet against her, in my opinion. We shall see. In a daring and illuminating move, showrunner Brad Bell of The Bold and the Beautiful confirmed what longtime viewers of the CBS soap opera have suspected, and possibly feared, that Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan are getting back together, rekindling their turbulent, decades-long romance and leaving Dr. Taylor Hayes in emotional ruins. Brad Bell revealed this most recent twist in the everlasting triangle in an incredibly open interview with an Italian magazine when the show was filming on location in Italy. So it's not just conjecture. Bell's international remarks, which were recently translated, blew the plot open and made it very evident that Taylor is out in the cold, Brooke and Ridge are endgame, and the repercussions of this dramatic romantic shift will undoubtedly shake every part of the Forrester family, even though American viewers may have been kept in the dark for suspense. The upcoming emotional consequences was hinted at in the interview, which also included remarks from Catherine Kelly Lang, Brooke, and Torsten Kay, Ridge. While Kay voiced discomfort over Ridge's constant mistreatment of both women, Lang gave mild spoilers by stating that Brooke would soon receive something very important from Ridge, likely a vow or ring that would symbolize their permanent commitment, revealing a role life fatigue that reflects viewers' long-standing annoyance with Ridge's vacillating affections. But Brad Bell wasn't holding back. He made it clear that in the scenes shot in Naples, Ridge has a profound epiphany. He cannot survive without Brooke. He effectively ends any chance of a future with Taylor when he declares his love for her and asks her to live with him forever. Bell claims that this crucial moment is a historic turning point in the soap opera, offering Bridge viewers the ultimate reward following years of conflict, treachery, forgiveness, and heartache. Fans of Brooke and Ridge should rejoice, but viewers who are invested in Taylor's emotional journey will be devastated, and Taylor herself may suffer the most as she is once again marginalized just as she appears to be on the verge of lasting happiness. This plot twist is even more contentious because it calls into question Jack Wagner's recent comeback as Nick Marone, a character with a complex and intense past with Brooke. According to Wagner's interviews with American media, there is a genuine chance that Brooke and Nick may revive their romance. The interview with Brad Bell, however, negates that idea. In actuality, the show's publicity team provides Wagner and the other cast members with talking points, which are regulated messages meant to maintain plots and viewership. Although Bell's Italian admissions exposed a glaring contrast behind the scenes, Wagner may have had sincere faith in Nick and Brooke's future. The show's writers never gave a reunion with Nick any real thought. For B&B, this deceit is nothing new. Actor Tanner Novlin was notably forced to perform exit interviews when the soap opera deceived viewers into thinking John Finnegan was dead, only for the character to make a spectacular comeback. Similarly, fans were led to believe that Sheila Carter had been murdered, but it was actually Sugar, her twin. These instances show a pattern of deceit that occasionally jeopardizes supporters' faith while keeping them wondering. In the meanwhile, Taylor will undoubtedly face severe consequences. Following traumatic events such as her family's dissolution and Ridge's emotional turmoil due to her hesitation, Taylor has spent the last few years rebuilding her life. She gave herself permission to think that their love may eventually develop into something solid and long-lasting when Ridge returned into her life. She was more than just another woman in Ridge's whirlpool of love. She was his therapist, the mother of his kids, and someone who knew him better than Brooke ever could. However, her hopes are crushed once more. What's the worst? She won't even be there for the pivotal scenes in Italy. Taylor is thousands of miles away and probably doesn't realize the betrayal that is taking place as Ridge and Brooke make grand pronouncements of fate. And that begs the question, will she finally get over her heartbreak or will she break off her relationship with the man who keeps ruining her life? Although that is still up in the air, people are already speculating about Taylor's potential redemption stories. Some even go so far as to say that, despite their violent past, she might find comfort in Bill Spencer. The remarks made by Catherine Kelly Lang regarding her character lend support to this reunion as well. Lang admitted that Brooke had made some outrageous and downright disgusting decisions. Two of the most heinous plot points you mentioned were sleeping with her daughter's husband, Deacon Sharp, and later Hope's lover, Oliver. Brooke is still a fan favorite and the focal point of Ridge's romantic cosmos in spite of everything. Regardless of how many times he has been caught between the two ladies, it is evident that the show views her as his genuine love. It's interesting to note that Lang and Kay both acknowledge that they don't always support the decisions made by their characters. While Lang highlighted how little Ridge personally resembles Brooke, pointing out how independence and contentment as a single woman, Kay acknowledged his contempt for Ridge's treatment of women. Viewers, who frequently find it difficult to reconcile the character's repeated errors with their purported emotional development, can relate to these role-life sentiments. Bell's decision to bring Ridge and Brooke back together, especially in such a public, spoiler-filled manner, reflects his vision for the show's future in terms of storytelling. He seems determined to put an end to the back and forth, solidifying Brooke as Ridge's last option. However, there is a price for such transparency. It threatens to alienate viewers who feel emotionally manipulated by years of rehashed plotlines, in addition to undermining recent plot developments like Nick's return and the tension with Taylor. Additionally, some are wondering if this choice limits the possibility for a story, while Bridge fans may be ecstatic with the confirmation of their favorite couple's permanence. What does Taylor get out of that? Or Nick? Or even figures with vested interests in the parents' relationships, such as Steffi and Thomas? Bell claims that Ridge and Brooke are now forever, Thus several plotlines need to change course fast to prevent boredom. However, there is still a great deal of room for drama. When Taylor learns that Ridge proposed to Brooke in Naples, how will she respond? Will she explode in rage and demand redress for years of emotional manipulation, or will she collapse into heartbreak? Devastated that her father once again picked Brooke over her mother, would Steffi snap at him? And how will Nick react, particularly after taking such a big risk to go back to LA and bring up his history with Brooke again? There are no simple solutions. However, one thing is for sure, a new age is coming to Bold and the Beautiful. The showrunner's shocking remarks were a statement of intent rather than merely a spoiler. Brad Bell is bringing Ridge's romantic ambivalence to a close. By doing this, he is going back to the beginnings of the program and securing its future in the same turbulent love tale that has characterized it since the 1980s. Ridge and Brooke are at the center of the maelstrom once more, for better or worse. Right now, as fans, our only option is to prepare for the aftershocks. There will be another heartbreak within Taylor Hayes for everyone that leaps when Ridge puts a ring on Brooke's finger. And that's what makes the Bold and the Beautiful so magical and heartbreaking.